Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and as you can tell, we're out here in the desert again, doing another landscape in nature. And of course, if you've been enjoying these and you want to see more, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for future painting videos. All right, let's get started. We'll start off by misting everything today. It's a little bit windy, and of course we are in the desert. That doesn't help the drying time at all. It really does dry fast, so we'll try to keep on top of that today. I'll just be misting every 3 seconds is all. That's how you stay on top of it. There we go. So I'm just painting in our basic sky here. And I see, look at those pretty thunder clouds. We're gonna do those. Well, I call them thunder clouds. We probably won't hear any thunder out of them at all. But they're nice clouds. There. That looks good. I'm gonna put a touch of black in them actually, because I don't know. I think that'll just make the sky look nice. So put a little black into it. These, of course, are acrylics. I've tinted my canvas, regular cotton canvas. Well, that looks good. I like that little bit of black up there in the sky. Now let's go ahead and get those big clouds in there. I think it should be a lot of fun. There we go. Just as they move kind of slowly across the sky, we'll just drop them in anywhere kind of close to how they are should be fine. Of course, they get bigger as they come right overhead. I'm using my little flat, my little synthetic flat, not the natural one, just because, I don't know, that's what I grabbed. It seems to be working out pretty well. And we're just looking for rough textures and shapes out here. We won't be able to do any of the tight brushwork. This is simply not time, and it's just not a comfortable place to do it. So we'll wait and we'll do that back in the studio where we got our normal setup. We won't be so off that way. And all I really want to do out here in nature is capture, wipe it with your finger, capture just the feeling of the light, the contrast, and the color. Get that nailed and I'm going to be happy. Because that's really all I need. And I can tighten up the brushwork as soon as we get back. That's easy. There we go. Look at that, just drop in these beautiful colors of the cloud. I'm just looking up, I'm kind of going off that way too. Everything's not just in front of me that I'm painting. I'm kind of soaking it in from all around, which is, of course, very fun. Lots of water up here. We need more mist. That way it'll kind of feather out those clouds a little better. Nice. A little more color. Lots of wispy edges on these clouds. Lots of wispy edges. Soft. You try to get soft edges with your acrylics. Not always the easiest thing in the world to do. There. That's pretty. Now, if we, miss a highlight or whatever, we can come back and do that later. I'm just got to get this done. Now, as I'm sure you noticed before, I went ahead and blocked in a basic sketch. Actually, I toned this canvas slightly differently. It was very red. I toned it more of a sand color, obviously. And then I began to kind of work out some shapes. Bug just landed on my canvas. Good thing it's already dry. Just began to work out some shapes. And this will help because we want to get this in relatively quick. It is a little bit of a race here. Not to rush the art. I'm not going to rush this painting. Just a matter of getting it done here so that we can take it back and finish it. Nicer brushwork and all that good stuff. So anyways, that establishes that mountain. Good. Fill in. Now these are rocks. These rocks are those right there. The ones straight in front of me. Well, I'm also going to paint a Joshua tree on that side. But I see more of these rocks kind of poking through, but I want to do them. Let's do this. Just using the brush like this. So let me finish shaping this, and then we'll add a little highlight. The light's coming from the left working to the right. Now with just the corner here of my flat brush, I'm going to drop in, highlight all along this ridge. I'm just looking up here, I see a million little rocks. I'm going to do my best to paint a few of them. How's that? Right up here, same idea. And the light is very much hidden right now by the clouds. A little bit of it's peeking through, but not a whole lot, mostly hidden. So I may not be able to decide just how bright to make these highlights yet. I have to wait for that sun to come back out. That's looking decent. Then every once in a while, give yourself a stroke or two. And we have to make this brushwork a lot smaller later. This is only to get the feel of it, honestly. It's really all it is to get the feel of it. Once you have that, you're done. unless you want to finish painting outside. I don't think you do. At least I don't want to. Just not necessary. There. This looks good. Really capturing the feeling of this real spot. Get some of this light on here now. Well, I can see. Don't go up there in the cloud. I can always cover that up in the studio. How's that? Looks better. Those little dabs of color back there are nice. Okay, let's let that sit for a minute. Now I'm going to work at just trying to sneak in some shading here. Actually, lots of shading to these rocks. Now these are close and those are far. You see, I pushed these back just by putting a wash of blue and white right over them. That pushes them right back. I just felt like they needed. In fact, I see a lot of shadow up in there, so that helps to represent the shadow. And now we're just blocking in the wonderful darks. Sneak those right in, spray the canvas, and run a little. You can't do that unless it's dry, otherwise it beads up, but run a little bit of that into the sand. Nice, look at that go. And then we want a couple of rocks, which are very easily accomplished, just with a couple of strokes. Literally, they're just tiny and they don't matter. They just are not important to the painting, so get them in however which way, and you can straighten them out later. Actually, there's one here that's kind of cool. It sticks up like this, apart from all the other rocks. Kind of interesting. And that one gets a little sliver of light there. And then mostly kind of gets a shadow. That's good. That's good. Just work out your tones right here. Get them kind of established. Just a little light there. The light, remember, is coming up. You can even see my hand. Yeah. Pretty easy to tell where the light's coming from. Nice. Well, what a reference painting, though, isn't it? If you haven't done this, give it a try. Get out in nature, even if it's your backyard. It's just fun to look at the tones. Let nature teach you how to paint. See this? Hit the right tones, the right variation of color. Now I'm mixing up a soft brown color. I'm looking over there because I'm going to paint a Joshua tree that's actually sitting right over there. Well, sitting, planted, you know, naturally growing right over there. All right, so I'm just mixing up this color, which I think is close. All right, I think that's good enough. We can always adjust the color later. And with this, let me just, well, I want this to be large, because let's face it, it's rocks. We need something to break it up. And actually, I've got a choice of like 1,200 Joshua trees. So let me just do one that kind of represents them pretty well. I've got my little angled filbert brush out here, because of course it draws lines like so amazing. So I'll just draw this little head. Yeah, that looks right. They have these little heads. And oh man, when they're blooming, they are nice. They have these long, like the flowers are like that big, the flower clusters. Oop, there comes like a little wind. But anyway, really pretty. There we go. That looks good. We can do another one up here. This is all part of the same one. Good. Yeah, 3's good. 3's a good number. All right. You want your paintings to be not symmetrical. And then I'm going with slightly muddier color, dragging it down. And these are going to be, if they're that tall, they should be ending right about here. Let's see, I should go look at how they go into the ground. There. And then this one literally connects right there. Nice. Okay, those heads are not big enough. Yeah, they need to be way bigger. So, hey, it's part of the being outdoors in nature, right? You get to look over and see, does it look right? Is that what I'm seeing? And if it's not, you change it. There, we can always play around with these when we get back in the studio. But for now, at least we got them established. Nice. It's a good brush for this, actually. And then as we're working on this, we can also jump over here to tons of bushes. Let's just drop in a few, just so that I remember to do them. We'll take some pictures of this area as well, so that we don't lose it. Well, that's all we're going to get done out here. We're going to take it back into the studio and finish it now. Well, now that we're back here in the studio, we're a little more comfortable. We can spend some time and really clean this up and add some more details. Let's get working on that. Now, we really could start anywhere we want. on this painting. I think I just want to jump right into the rocks. Looks like fun to me. I really like painting these rocks. Kind of sandstone rocks are a lot of fun. There we go, look at that. And there's one thing that I did not capture that I'm looking, see I have a photo here as well. And it's just, I think it's probably a screen grab of what you guys saw earlier. We did take some photos, but I don't know if I can't even remember which one I'm using. It doesn't matter, it's of this scene, right? And I'm noticing that there's a lot of little bushes in here that I kind of missed. And I like the way that they help to push the rocks back, so I'm definitely going to be doing those. So just doing these short little jabs on the rocks though for now. I like this. This is good. Sure is nice to be in the air conditioning. Air conditioning is a nice thing. All right, over here, I'll just do a few of these. See how you can just, you know, be quick about it. Be loose. Try to keep the colors as similar as possible. I know that it's not going to be easy to match necessarily, but just work at it and get those colors close. Helps to work with a limited palette. I don't have a whole lot of colors, as you know. There's my palette, nice and clean. There. For acrylic, I really do like those disposable palettes. It's just a square one that I hold like this. Very easy, so simple, and you can let it dry. You can be kind of lazy about it, which I like to be. If you haven't noticed my green palette, it doesn't get cleaned real well, so it's kind of nice to have one that you just throw away. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply a very thin wash over my mountain, and this could be really important because I think this is going to go ahead and push this mountain back, and I do realize it wasn't in the real scene. Doesn't matter to me though, because I think it'll really just help the whole thing. All right, now this obviously will dry. Well, maybe not obviously, but it will dry. It'll dry out much more transparent than you see it going on here. So just kind of note that when you do these glazes, as long as you make the glaze correctly. Let me show you. See how, whoa. Okay, that's all I can show you. See how watery it is? Running right off the palette. Way more runny than, say, what you would do with the liner brush. With the liner brush, you want a little bit of, paint in there. This, it's almost all water. And see, that'll just push all that right back. Just blend it right up into the sky. Make sure your brush strokes are not too crazy. Everything's kind of smoothed out because the harsh brush strokes may end up showing through. All right, I'm hoping that'll dry out just, 2 or 3 shades darker. It should be perfect for us. Now let's go ahead and get some of this Joshua tree action out here. I've finally changed my liner, and I think this is what we're gonna need to do to get some good detail out on here. Now, these are generally fairly tan on the bottom. I got them too green outside, which is okay. We can fix it here. So I'm gonna change to basically tan all the way up, and then the little heads are green. There we go. Some of this stuff is just simply easier done right now. Or I can stop and go get water or whatever else I want to do instead of sitting out there in the hot sun. Standing, actually. There we go. Anyway, this is kind of fun. A little bit tedious though, so I won't spend too long. Unless you like tedious things. Then you can have as much fun up here as you want. I might actually make one of these taller, just for the sake of doing something different. I don't know. We will see. Actually, you know what else? Maybe instead of that, maybe we could do 1 or 2 back in the background. That could be cool. I'll play around with that and I'll let you know what I decide. For now, I'll just get these things finished. I think we can get away with adding a little detail to this one I put back here with the little bristle brush. I think it'll work out well. Actually, I want another arm right here. There. That looks good. And then maybe another arm. If you haven't seen these, some of them are normal. Some of them are crazy. There you go. I'm painting the crazy one right now. There. This is really fun. I love these things. I see them all the time. Fun to actually get to paint them. You guys get to see what I see a lot. All right, let's see. Some green. About the only green on these things is on the top. Now I may, this wasn't springtime obviously, but I may put the spring flowers in. I don't know, they're really cool. If not today, then someday we'll do them. They have these crazy little, they're like a foot long flowers, cluster of flowers. And there we go. Close enough. This one's further away. We don't need as much detail. Now I've got a nice soft green mixed up right here on our little flat brush, and I'm going to pull up and away like this, watch, to create little bushes and stuff. A little grass maybe, you know, lots of dry grass around this area as well. Yikes. There we go. That looks good. So you can kind of seat some of your Joshua trees down. I like that. I think that looks makes it look more alive. And my picture here shows a lot of, you know, desert plants, like I said. So I think it'd be good to get these in. That's pretty. Oh, one on this side right here. That would help hold our, hold our attention into the frame instead of allowing it to kind of spill out. That would be a good thing. There. I'm just going to, use some dabbing strokes or whatever just to get a little bush here. It's a little bigger, so I'm using different strokes. There may be some more action on this. So you see how you work around your paintings. This is how you enhance them. We get the colors and the tones nailed outside. We come back and we can really touch them up and make them sparkle, but without losing that taste of the outside that we get here. You can feel the differences. You can just feel in the paintings how they feel more natural. The colors feel natural. The layout, all that good stuff. You can just tell it was painted outside. Maybe it's not the most interesting composition in the whole world, because let's face it, you have to find, you can't do you got to find something that actually looks good to paint. You can't just make it up as you go along so much, otherwise what's the point, right? So even if you don't have the best area in the world to paint, this is pretty good for desert, but that's about all I got. And if you got, maybe you don't have the best, at least you could pick a tree or something from outside and bring it into one of your paintings. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? That'd be fun. All right, this is good. We're gonna highlight in just a second. I'm just finishing up here with the little bushes. Now I'm gonna load up my little flat brush with tan. And this tan is a little bit less red than the stuff in the background. You see I put a quick highlight on these bushes, but watch this. We need to add some dry, sticks and stuff in here. And this is just gonna be represented by a few touches of this tan color. See that when you're painting desert bushes, there's always like half the bush is kind of already dead. And some of it, kind of grows around it and over it. And so you have these light tan spots worked in. It's very important that we do this, otherwise it looks, look, it looks out of place, right? There, so make sure you finish up with this. You kind of rub it to blend it, and anywhere, if you get it in a weird spot, you can just, call it stones or whatever. So just kind of be quick and loose about it. Nice, maybe a little more action on that bush there. Cool, pretty easy, and a lot of fun to do. See, don't get it too vivid. All right, back to my tan, a little bit back here as well. Next, I'll load up my custom tapered round brush here with some white and water. Need a little water in there. Kind of keep the paint looser, making it pretty creamy. This brush is really amazing. It's like cone shaped, and all the bristles are cut at different sizes along the cone shape. That's how it gets that way. And the point is that you don't paint with the tip, you paint with the side, because that's kind of where the normal, so kind of hard to explain here, look. So like, see, these are all cut the same, right? And then if this was a pointed brush, look, see, they would still all be cut the same. That's not the case with this one. They're cut very short here and very long at the top. And it makes it very, very easy to do the blends. So this is like your absolute #1 shading brush, blending brush for stuff like this. So I hope that explanation helped. It's a little difficult to explain, but boy, does it work. Oh my goodness, this thing is cool. And then of course, you do your simple little finger blend and away you go. So I've got my darks here. I think I'm just gonna add some more light and call it good. Dry brush blending technique. This is what you use when an oil painting dries on you, 3 years from now, you go back to an oil painting, you're like, oh, I wish I would have done this or that. Well, maybe not 3 years, but a couple months, and you still want to repair that painting. Use dry brush blending techniques. Cool. I won't bring any of them over the mountains, because that just doesn't happen in the desert so much, unless it's stormy. This is not a stormy sky. There is no rain in these clouds. All right, well, I think we're done. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Don't forget to check out our website, DVDs, and brush line. Thanks for watching.